Hey, it's Frank, that one web guy, and I'm back with another video. In this video, I want to talk about how to use AI tools to create your own t-shirt store. I'm going to show you a couple different ways, but of course I use Midjourney for mine, and there are different things we can cover, but I'm just going to keep it simple and to the point, and so that you can get the biggest idea in the shortest amount of time. I tend to talk a little bit fast, and I apologize about that. I just get excited about this topic of earning a little extra income on the side, or being an artist myself. I like to do some of these designs and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Discord, and of course I did a video recently on doing coloring books, so you can see that's in my queue because I've still been generating a few more coloring books for my Etsy store on that. My t-shirt store, though, I actually have my own. I actually have two different stores. I have one on Etsy to take an account to the use of Etsy. It's a popular shopping area that people like to go and find things. But I also have my own website at franknicities.com where I put my own t-shirts as well. Now, I do have graphic design shirts where it's just art, but I also have a lot of quote-based t-shirts. What we're going to be covering today are art-based t-shirts. Now, I was going to go ahead and scroll up here in my feed, and you can see here that I've generated a couple that you could use for your store, but I'm going to show you how to generate these. And you can see here, if you're not familiar with Midjourney, when you create something, it comes up in a 4-pattern grid like this, and you can either upgrade all of them to use or just individual ones. Just as a recap, we have U1, 2, 3, and 4. Which you could then, upscale 1, upscale 2, upscale 3, upscale 4, or re-roll is what this is for. And we have version 1, 2, 3, or 4. So you could actually, say like if you think this one is close to what you want, you could do a V2, and it'll give you a second version of this image. And what it would do is then give you 4 different versions of a new version of this one. So you'd have another 4 square panel to choose from. Now, to get this, I like to use certain settings in my, I'm using Discord right now for Midjourney. It's the way that you get in there to generate it. Midjourney is just my favorite one. There are many others that you could do this. I just like the detail and the creativity with Midjourney better than any others. Be interested to find out if you played with any others. Go ahead and leave those in the comments. Speaking of comments, if you like this video, go ahead and click the like button and subscribe so that I can keep you up to date when I do new videos. I do videos on all different types of topic. As you know, I'm a web guy, so I do a lot of stuff about your website and building traffic and SEO and that type of thing. But I also do a lot of things with art and referrals for other products that you use every day in your business or just in everyday life. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is go ahead and copy where it says 4 t-shirt designs. Solid black background, isolated object, fit on the page, no fill, do AR, which is aspect ratio 3:4, and then version 5.1, and then I do a style of 7 whatever. Now, I do 737 just because 37 is my lucky number. Generally you put like 700, 750. I think you can go up to 1,000. If you wanted to think. If you let Midjourney come up with its own ideas and more creative, you go closer to 1,000. If you wanted to stick closer to your idea or the words that you're putting in, you might want to keep it closer to 500 or so, 600, something like that. I'm going to go ahead and click copy, and of course with Midjourney. Now this camping one I thought came out kind of cool. But we'll come up with a few other designs so that you can see how the whole process goes. You hit the forward slash, and it pops up with Imagine. Now there are other people that have like buttons and all turned on. I just like to keep it simple. I'm going to paste in. I hit Control V on my keyboard, or Command V if you're on a Mac, to post in what we are already going to use. I'll try to remember to post this in the notes below. Speaking of notes, or the comments below, or notes below, you'll see different links to the different resources that I'm using. Anything that I mentioned is in the notes below, so go ahead and check that out as well. So we have t-shirt design, solid black background. I use solid black because most of the t-shirts that people buy that I find are darker t-shirts, unless during the summer they have some that are white and stuff like that. But if you design these correctly, you could probably switch that out so that it has like a border and it looks good on a light color t-shirt, or you could just do solid white background. We'll try it both ways. So on our first one, we'll say fishing design See, fishing, person fishing. Let's put person fishing. I always type words when people are watching. Person fishing from a boat. And I'm going to put a comma to let it know that that's one thought. Now you'll see that a lot of people do different things with breaking up the prompts. It's wanting a person. I got Grammarly running. So it's trying to say I should have a person of a person fishing. But as I said, a lot of people have they try quotes or commas or different things like that. Some people have been using emojis. So like a person fishing, they might put an emoji of a fish in there, or an emoji of a person, or even an emoji of a boat. You know, just whatever works for you. I always say try different things. You know, there's no cost to difference to generate something else. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and submit this and let it run to see what we get. It generally happens pretty quick. If not, I'll pause and then come back after it finishes, but I'll go ahead and wait here just a second. I'll go ahead and ramble just a bit. Go ahead and fill some of these other questions here as it's running. Isolated object says that you just want that object on the page. As you can see here, like this is an isolated object. I have an isolated object. This is an Hawaiian female portrait for a coloring book that I'm doing. This was an isolated object here. That means it's not going to run off the page. We also have no fill. For the coloring book, I would use no fill. I'm not sure why I didn't there. AR is aspect ratio. That's what AR stands for. And it's important that you use dash there. If you just use a single dash, it's going to break the prompt and not generate properly. We're on version 5.1. You could actually, if you left it blank, I think it may be going to version 4 something. As I said, I already commented what style was. So let's go ahead and scroll. So, and of course it put the person in a t-shirt. It drives me crazy when it does that. So, which isn't very useful for us. The design's pretty cool, but as you can see here, some of the designs would make a cool t-shirt design, but I don't want the person. So what we're going to do is, I didn't put for a t-shirt design, so I'm just going to copy this again, see if that makes a difference. I think I did have for a in the other one. So I'm going to do the imagine. That doesn't always copy when I paste that down there. It doesn't give you the prompt command. So let's put for a t-shirt design. Let that generate again. I really like that design. Sometimes we can pull those off there, but not in this case. And let's see what we get here. Give it just a moment longer. There we go. It says fast, 0%. So we see what we can get. And we're getting people again. It's because I mentioned a person. So I might have to get rid of the word person, because it's all going to have, well, we want person in there, just not a person on a t-shirt. Not the image on the t-shirt. So we have some cool ones here. I kind of like this one. It would be kind of a cool effect on a t-shirt. Yeah, we could do all of them. This one here might be cool as well. So I'm going to do 2 and 4. So I'm going to upscale 2 and upscale 4. And then let's go ahead and come up with another idea while we're working on that. Now what we could do, of course, is go to Google. Go to google.com here. And popular graphic image t-shirts, and let's go ahead and click on images to see what we get. So like here's another one. Trees would be good. Obviously, we don't want to steal somebody else's idea. There's Space Cat, Astro Cat. So let's go ahead and go back here to, see, that's kind of cool. There for that one. I really like this one the best though. Let's go ahead and do one more and we'll go from there. So I'm going to copy our text here. Oops. Control Z. I'm going to put in imagine for a t-shirt design. Let's go do retro. I almost put in AstroCat. It was the last thing that was in my mind here. Retro. Let's do retro mountains for a t-shirt design. And let's go ahead and try this to solid white background to see what we get as well. It said we'd do both options. So let's go ahead and try that to see what we get. And I am going to pause the video just a moment so that we can save time on generating here. Okay, we're finished here. And I actually like some of these better than these up here, although this one's really cool. And this one here is really nice as well. But these two here really stand out to me. And of course, we still got one on a t-shirt, which would be kind of cool. I might try to pull that off using Photoshop. This one here is really cool as well. We can bring these up, and it's going to open in a browser on my other screen, of course. So let me bring that over so you can see what that looks like. And we'll link. This one here I'd prefer to have a little more rounder, but having it being a retro kind of like that is kind of cool. I really like this one here. I might be using that one. And of course, we could clean that up if we wanted to, take it into Photoshop or whatever. This one here is kind of cool, but this one's kind of funky, so we'd have to switch something up there a little bit, clean that up, which I do a lot. This one here I really like as well. Has this kind of grunge appearance over here. Kind of has a retro but space age kind of looking feel to it. So I'm trying to decide which ones we're going to do. If I was live, I could ask you, but I didn't go live this time. I'm just recording it as we go. So I think let's go ahead and go with this one here. I'll probably come back and do the other one as well, but we'll upscale number 1, and it should pop up here pretty quickly. And see what we get. There we go, popped up. So what we're going to do is then we're going to take a look at this. I'm going to right click and save image. It's going to go to my downloads. Of course, we always want to make sure where that's going. Click there. And then what we'll need to do is, of course, to put this on a t-shirt, if we just left it as is, we're going to have this big white square behind it. And it's probably not high enough resolution for our store for us to print. We want a good high quality so it's not blurry or anything like that. As I said, I'm just going to publish this as is, and I'm going to show you 2 different ways to publish it. But first, we need to remove that background. So let me minimize this, and I use a service. I usually use Photoshop to get rid of it. So you can see here, if I was to open this file, go to my downloads. Got a ton of files here. Downloads. And we have this here. I'm going to open, and I could just use like background eraser. Click over here, magic eraser tool. Boom, and it's transparent background. Easy enough, right? I could even come in here and if I wanted to put a circle around this and round this off a little bit if I wanted to, kind of trim it off. So I could actually come up here and take the eraser tool, again, switch it back to the eraser tool. I can make it real large. Oops. Inverse. Yeah, I wanted to inverse that so I can make it a little rounder. So if I wanted to do that, I could. So I could do that. I would probably get in there just a little bit more, but I like that rough edge right there, and I'm fine with that. So, and do I want to run this off? Nope, I'm going to leave that as at the bottom. So then I could actually, let's see what this image size is. Image size, and it's that's going to be plenty big enough here. Nope, 920. That'd probably be plenty big enough, but it's only 72 dpi. So we want to upscale that. So I'm going to go ahead and export. Now I could change that myself, but I want to show you. I'm going to say save a copy as, and I'm just going to say retro mountains. Now I want to do it the other way in case you don't have Photoshop. So what we're going to do while that's saving is I'm going to go to a site called remove.bg. and it's going to bring this up here. We can upload an image. So what I could actually do is I'll open up my folder here, and of course it's on the other screen again, and oops, downloads. So we're going to go to this one here and just drop it on the screen, and it's going to remove the background for us. And you see it's showing this checkerboard pattern, and that's just showing us that it is the that's removed the background. So we're going to, I think if we hit download HD, it's going to ask for credits, so you could sign up for free and get this image free, but we're going to do it a different way. I'm just going to download it as is, and retro mountains RBG. That usually means red, blue, green in graphic terms, but I just said remove background. That's what I stood that for. So we're going to use another site, another free site. As I said, be sure to check in the notes below to get these links, but I'm going to use one called upscale.media. Not .com or anything, just Upscale Media. So we're going to pull open our downloads folder again, and I am going to grab our rbg.png, and it's uploading. Processing image, please wait. So it's got normal upscaling or AI upscaling. So if we check this out, we could do up to 4 times. I think 2 times is plenty enough, but you can see here, if we hover over how much sharper that is, it's really kind of hard to tell maybe on the video here, but it's helped upscale the resolution as well. On the left hand side here on the left screen, I'm pointing at the screen like you can see me, that's just normal and it's still a little fuzzy, where on the right screen where it says AI upscaling, how much sharper that is. So we're going to go ahead and we click on, oh yeah, but I figured it's gonna say, if I turn that on, it's gonna, I shouldn't have clicked that. I turn that on, it's gonna do even upscale, and then we're gonna download image, and it says Retro Mountains RBG transformed, and we're gonna click save, and that should download pretty quickly here if it didn't already. Check this out. Yep, it's already done. So that's cool. That should give us what we need there. If you wanted to clean it up, since I'm talking about different services, there is, if you don't have Photoshop, I use a service called Photopea when in a pinch. So we could actually open from a computer. We could then, let's go down, I'm in my coloring books folder here again. I do a lot of different things during the day, as you could probably imagine. Most of this stuff is just for fun. We could come here and we could do our ellipse select. It's been a while since I've done this in Photopea, since I do use Photoshop. I just wanted to try to give you about the same that we talked about in Photoshop. So I think if you hit shift, no, control, no, shift, yep, shift will hold, generally constrains the circle. If I reduce that down just a little bit, there we go. And I think if I click on select and inverse, so you can see it's almost the same as Photoshop. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see. Generally you can hit Control plus or Command plus on your Mac, and you can see here that we have the same thing. So if we come over here to the eraser tool, that's supposed to look like an eraser tool or eraser, we can come in here and remove that edge just a little bit, and I'm just going to do it the same way I did on the other one, just so that we have the same effect. I just like to have the top clean, and I know the bottom's going to be a little ragged, but that's fine as well, because you know we want it to have an edge. So we could round it a little bit if you wanted, but as I said, I'm just going to do it as exactly how we did it in the Photoshop version. If I then click off and then Control minus to zoom back out, we have a pretty good image here that we can use for our t-shirt. So we're going to say File and Export As. I think on the other one I said Open More, Export As, Save More. Yep, I want to export as a PNG. I was just looking to see if there was a way to save a copy as a larger image, but I'm going to say save as a PNG. And it's giving us a pretty good resolution there. So I'm going to say save and transformed. I'm going to say edit just so that we know that this is the one from, or I could add PP so I know it's the one from Photopea. We have the transformed as well, so we know it was upscaled, and that should download pretty quickly. Boom, it is. I'm going to go ahead and close this, and now we're ready to. Now I could actually save this if I wanted. Now this Photopea has a free version, and a lot of times you'll see ads popped over here. If you have a paid version, the paid version takes away the ads and gives you some online storage as well. I think that's the only difference. You could go to photopea.com and check out pricing. There may be some other things. I think maybe a Facebook group or something. I can't remember, but pretty cool service. It has layers over here just like you would in Photoshop. Pretty good service if you like to use it. So that's just let's go ahead and, so what we're going to do next is go to, let me stop here real quick. What we're talking about before I go to the next one. I have a service training program called A Little Extra Income. It talks about how to do some of the things we're talking about, like creating your own online stores, creating KDP, publishing on Kindle, information content creation, affiliate marketing, PLR products, as I said, like the coloring books and things like that. I dabble in a lot of things when I'm not doing web design and stuff like that. I like to keep my mind busy. So check out A Little Extra Income. Link is in the bottom. Here's a few of the t-shirts that we've done before that I've done just playing around using the retro or stuff like that from AI. You can see here this is one of them. So what we're going to do, this is one that I like. I like lions and listen to music a lot, so thought it was kind of cool. We're going to start with Printify. Printify is one of the stores that I like to use a lot, or services. Printify is a print-on-demand service. What I like about Printify is that you don't have to pay for anything until the product is sold. So it has some connectors to, as you can see here, it says Woo. On my site, I use WooCommerce. So that's how I handle orders. When somebody goes to my website, I have WooCommerce set up, so when somebody buys, WooCommerce notifies Printify, said, hey, this shirt was sold, print it. So Printify then charges my card on file for what my fees are, charges what I owe them. They print it, ship it out for me. I mean, they package it, ship it out. I have to do none of that. The customer gets it. Once the customer receives it, then that money is then the profits then is, well, I get profits on the WooCommerce. They just charge me from that, and I don't have to worry about it. On Etsy, got my head's a little backwards there. On Etsy, it's very similar. There's a connector for Printify to Etsy. I can click on here, and if I'm adding something to my Franknicity store on Etsy, I could do the same thing. When somebody goes to Etsy and buys it, of course, you're charged a listing. I think it's $2 for 4 months to list a product on Etsy. And then they have a service fee. So when somebody buys that shirt, Etsy will charge you a transaction that they're like your credit card processor on. And I about went to the other one. So they act like your credit card processor. They charge you, I think it's 3.5% plus 30 cents or 35 cents or something like that per transaction. So you don't lose a whole lot depending on what your store is. Or what your product is. So again, on Etsy, if somebody buys it, Etsy takes a charge, doesn't charge you anything except, they charge you the $2 listing when you first list it, then you're charged nothing. When somebody buys it, then they charge you a processing fee. They notify Printify. Printify charges your debit card or credit card, whichever you choose, for the amount of the shirt. It's like $9. So if you have it at $20, you're making $11 profit minus Etsy's fees. They print it. It's not printed until it's ordered, and then they package it up and ship it out. And the customer pays shipping. You don't have to do that. It's just all figured in. And there you go. Bob's your uncle. So as I said, if it's a $9 product. And even Printify is free. There's a free version of Printify. Your shirts are a little bit more expensive. I have the paid version. I think I pay roughly $20 a month or something like that. And then the shirt cost per product is cheaper to do it that way. I like to do WooCommerce because then I handle the credit card processing. I use sure, I use a service in the back end. I was going to say Slack, that's not it. Stripe. I use Stripe to process my credit card processing through there, and they're about the same fees, to be honest. It's about I can't remember, 3.5% or something like that. So it's not really that expensive. And as I said, there's nothing comes out until you order, until the product is ordered. So I just like that. The cool thing with this, you have more than just t-shirts. You do hoodies, sweatshirts, tank tops. You could even do, as I said, mugs, glassware, ornaments, postcards, bathroom stuff like towels and blankets and things like that. You could do, I mean, as I said, there's a ton of things you could do. So if we wanted to do tank tops or whatever, we could. Now, I usually, as I said, I keep my things to t-shirts on this store. And one of my favorite designs right now is the Bella Canvas 3001. As I said, I have the paid service, so the t-shirt cost me $8.32. So I do have this on my Etsy store at the moment. I am going to pick this. Now, the cool thing is if you're in different countries, you could actually choose, like this one's in Canada, US. You can see the little flags there, shows US. So if you want to ship from Canada, there's some of them that come from different locations, Czech Republic. And of course, they're listed in the Printify ranking. So this one has a 9.7 ranking. I generally use Monster Digital. As you can see, they have most colors, where these only have 9, 17, 18 colors. So what I'm going to do here is quickly do this. I'm going to start designing. And I'm going to pick our product variants. I'm going to try it in orange. I usually do black. Sometimes I do the heather mauve. I like that as well. Army is kind of cool. I don't do dark gray because there's, well, I could. Let's go ahead and do dark gray. Aqua is always popular. True Royal. Asphalt is one I like. Do Team Purple just because some people like purple. Berry and red. And we'll keep it at that for now. Let's see, there's Athletic Heather. There we go. Let's do that one. And you can decide by sizes. If you don't want to do 3X, you can. Now, this is one of them that Printify is one of them that you can actually do different images for black or white. So like if I had an all black image and I wanted to put it on a black t-shirt, I could transfer it to white, so it's designed that way. But let's keep it simple here. We're going to upload from my device. We're going to pick this last one here, Retro Mountains Transform PP, and we're going to upload it, and hopefully it's high enough resolution. It's a medium resolution, so it might be, yep, it's a low resolution, so it wasn't upscaled quite enough. So we can do that. We want to make sure that we'll automatically enhance low quality images for the best result possible. However, print quality may be affected. So generally what I do is then we might go back and upscale that to 4. I probably won't publish this. We just did the 2x. So on this one we might want to do the 4x. And do that there. And I probably won't publish this to my store until I update the graphic. So as I said, I usually use Photoshop and I pull it into, actually let's go ahead and do that. Let's trash this one here real quick. And I think you could probably do it in Photopea as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a new design here, new document, and generally they like it 4,500, not 45,000, by 5,400, 72 DPI. Let's do 300. Usually I do 300 for print items and 72 for web items. We're going to click Create, Edit, File, Import, place an embed. Let's go ahead and bring this one in, and I think we can upscale it this way to get us the quality that we want. That actually may be bigger than what we want. Let's turn off the background. I'm going to try to center this a little bit. Generally, if you shift, you can see that blue line right down the center. That's telling me the image is centered in that product. So let's then file, save a copy, and let's call it a PNG. That stands for portable network graphic, if you're curious. I'm going to change this one to PS since we didn't Photoshop. Save. Smallest file, because you do have a file limit, so it's going to take just a moment. So that just finished saving. I did pause because it does take a little bit longer. So let's go ahead and upload that one. This one says the PS open. Now, as I said, you could probably do the same thing in the Photopea. I'm certain that you can. It just takes a little bit longer. Now see, this says high resolution, and it's about the size we need it since I changed the image size. I'm going to scoot it up. Now this dotted line is the outside of the print area, so we can see that. We can see how it looks on the different t-shirts. We got a little bit of fuzz here, but that's kind of trees. I don't think anybody's going to really grumble about that much. Berry, not my color, but neither is red, but you can see how it works on the different ones. Army looks kind of cool. Dark gray looks good. I said asphalt's one of my favorite, but I think actually I like the dark gray better on this one. I'm just going to leave it like that, and we're going to save our product. The next thing that we're going to do is, it shows here. Now it's actually going to publish all these to your store for you. It's already done on the different people. I think though that these are a little off because it actually shows them kind of high. I mean, it shows them kind of wide. It almost goes like armpit to armpit. So that's a little distorted, where on here it actually shows these here. So you might want to turn those off. That's totally up to you. So this is what we're wanting. Now we might, as we scroll down here, we want to give it a description. And this is where I might be using some AI again. So we did the Grunge Mountain. I'm just going to call this Grunge Mountain. We want to use our keywords here. Retro, not retro short sleeve tee. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, let's see, I can retype that just as easy. I'm going to take this description because it tells about the product here, and I'm going to highlight that, Control C, and then we're going to go to Chat GPT, our AI tool for writing text. So we're going to say write a product description for, let's go back to our thing here. I lied. I'm going to just copy and paste. A product let's just say titled. I don't want to put it in quotes because it will add the quotes to the description as well. And I'm going to say use persuasive. It's always good to use persuasive voice when you're trying to sell something. Use persuasive, friendly voice. And we could say like limit it to 200 characters, 500 characters, or whatever. Looks like I spelled persuasive. Use a persuasive, and then we'll click generate. Absolutely. Here's your product description. Meet our Grunge Mountain Retro short sleeve tee, a symbol of blah blah blah. Give it a moment. It should generate this pretty quickly. It says the faded hues give a nod to the past with retaining a fresh contemporary appeal. It's always impressive what it comes up with in the design here. Please let me know if you need any more assistance. I'm going to leave that out. Actually, let's go ahead and come up here and click on the clipboard, and I'll copy it to our thing. I'm going to, oh, did I not add that? Yeah, I did, didn't I? Argue with myself here. Oh, I did not. Shoot. Let's try this one more time. So I'm going to pop that in there. I didn't grab this here. We'll come back here, write a product description for our product titled Grunge Mountain Retro short sleeve tee, use a friendly voice, and this information. Oh, I'm just going to leave it as is. Certainly. Here's a revamped product description. That's nice of them. Step. Of course, now it's thinking more. I gave it more to think about to rewrite. So here's our product description, and you can see that it added in like the material, lightweight fabric, and all that I'd missed before. Copy our clipboard. We're going to go here, and I'm just going to paste it over what we already have selected. I'm going to remove this last line. I think that's kind of redundant. So we have a nice description there. It should work. Nope. I also want to take that out because that wouldn't make much sense in our product listing. Of course, I'm running Grammarly, so let's see what it says. Ring spot. Nope, it doesn't know those words. I'm just going to leave it as is. We'll come down here, and now we're going to select our pricing. So we can select all. So right now my markup is set at 40%. I'll make a $6.21 profit if I leave it at the $15. Let's go ahead and bump that up to edit price, and let's say $18 and see what that gives us. That gives us an $8 profit. Now notice as the shirt gets larger, we only make a $4.79 profit on the 3X. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to uncheck this and edit the price and change that to $20 on the 3X. Apply, so that we're back up a little bit on that. Clear that, and we'll go to the 2X, and I want to make it $19 on the 2X so that our margins are closer. We're going to select all. You need to make sure that you do this before you publish. So we can. It's just giving us the default here. I'm going to click to publish, and now it'll publish it to my Etsy store, and that t-shirt's ready to go. It says publishing. Once it's done, it'll say published, and then I go to my Etsy store and change some settings on that. I won't cover that today just because for the essence of time. I do want to show you one more thing before we wrap up. A different service, if you decide not to use Printify, there is a service called right here called it's called Teespring, but it's now changed. It's called Spring. So Spring will allow you to do t-shirts and all through that. You don't have to worry about credit card processing or anything like that. And I think they have a default price for everything, and they just send you the difference. So there's no worrying about creating a connector. I mean, we're not connecting it to any service like Shopify or Printify or anything like that. Everything is handled on their end because they are a print reseller. All you have to do is go in and create the product, and then let's just go ahead and do that here real quick. I'll show you that real quick. And so let's see, I'm looking for best sellers. Nope, new products. Man, it's been a while since I've done this. Create. This is what I want. I want it on the left hand side. Let's create apparel. Let's do apparel. Come on. See, they threw me off because I'm just going to do the comfort tee, tri-blend tee. Because when I did this recently, they actually had it where you would do one and it published it to everything. So we're going to add our image, and let's go ahead and grab our image that we just put on the other product here. It's listed there. It's listing it as $21.99. Now see, the profit is only $5.73. Now on the other one, I'm going to make about an $8 profit down to $6 depending on that. You can select up to 5 backgrounds. So I want I'm going to do black, the blue, take away the white, heathered charcoal, and we can do 5. 1, 2, that's 3. New navy, and that looks pretty sharp. And let's do a gray. All right. Click on continue. Now see, it automatically adds it. That's why it threw me off. They did it a different way. We could do canvas prints. We could do crew neck. We could do. I mean, it automatically adds it to everything for you. All you have to do then is come in here and like let's hit the classic crew. We'll do a pullover. Canvas print doesn't make much sense. Premium ring spun. There's the comfort tee. We could do a long sleeve tee. We could do a mug. Sticker may not look as good. Woman's classic tee. And do a pet tee. So I mean, you could come through here and do like a weekend tote, sandals, coach's jacket. It adds it right there on the side. There's home and decor, so if you want to do it like on a clock or pillows or anything like that. Accessories like I think like iPhones or phone cases and things like that, you could add it to all of those. Those take a little bit more because you have to go change the placing and the size. It tries to get it for you there. I'm just going to leave it as is. Say like if we wanted it stationary, it tries to make it bigger, so you would have to click that and then edit that product. I'm not going to worry about that, so let's just go ahead and continue with the products we have. There's what a preview looks like. We're going to do our title here, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cheat and click on here and grab our title from, scroll down here, grab our title, since we already have it done in the other store. No sense doing the work twice, right? Come down here and grab our content, Spring Launcher, except that it's a limit of 250 characters. So what we could do is delete. Let's go back to here. Rewrite in 250 words. Since I've not written anything else after that, it should just pick up what we had and spit out something. Absolutely, here's your condensed version. So it'll redo everything that we have, but limited to 250 words. Sometimes it's less than that, but it tries to fit everything in there the best that it can. So spit that out. We'll copy that and bring that over here and paste. Now it says please no more than 250 words, but I know that we're less than that, so let's get rid of this. And we should be good. Let's get rid of these here. Don't need the asterisks there. And launch listing. And then that'll generate as it's finishing up there, and it'll populate it to your store. Of course, you have to set up the store, which I didn't show you, but so it's now Grunge Mountain Retro short sleeve t-shirt is now live. So you can view the listing, and that's what it looks like on your store. And then people could, that says $34.99 because it's our hoodie, but we can see what our t-shirts look like there. And you could just share your store link to wherever you want, and there you go. And there's some of the others that I was playing around with in the store as well. So my store is What the Frank on there, so kind of funny, but you can see how then you could use AI. We used AI Chat GPT, we used Midjourney to create the image. And those are the best ways to create a store quickly and easily. We did that in under 40 minutes. Of course, we played around on some of the other things, but I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Be sure to check the links below for different resources that we talked about. Go ahead and click the like if you like this video, and subscribe for me if you would, please. And I'll be back with another video again soon. Thanks, everyone.